Most of the people, including me, grew up slicing through monsters and dodging traps in Castlevania. And honestly, that series set the gold standard for gothic action platformers. There's just something about that eerie castle setting, the epic boss fights, and that classic whip combat that never gets old. But over the years, a ton of amazing games have taken inspiration from it. Some paying homage, others reinventing the formula completely. So, in this video, I'm introducing you to 14 of the best Castlevania clones. And by the end of the video, drop your pick in the comments. Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Sometimes I just want something that feels like Symphony of the Night without booting up my old hardware. And this is my go-to. Available on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, it was made by Koji Igarashi's team, so you can tell it's built as a spiritual successor. I love how the whole castle becomes your playground as you collect shards, level up, and slowly break the game with ridiculous builds. The shard system is the star for me. Every enemy can give you a new spell, summon, or passive, so grinding actually feels rewarding. Visually, it's all gothic anime flair, with big bosses and dramatic spell effects. Fans treat it like the unofficial next Igavania, and I honestly agree. If you miss that chunky RPG progression, secret-filled maps, and slightly cheesy story, this is one of the easiest recommendations on this list. Blasphemous. This game was released on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch by The Game Kitchen. It mixes tight 2D combat with a punishing, almost Souls-like edge. The thing I love most is how every swing of your sword and every dodge actually matters. Button mashing just gets you killed. Instead of tons of weapons, you're upgrading one main blade, adding prayers, relics, and rosary beads to tweak your build. The pixel art is insane. Grotesque religious imagery, blood, and twisted holy statues everywhere. It's not just spooky, it's genuinely disturbing. People praise it for its atmosphere and boss design, even if the story is cryptic. If you enjoy learning patterns, getting humbled, and exploring a world that feels cursed to its core, this is a perfect hardcore Castlevania substitute. Shovel Knight. If someone tells me they miss NES Castlevania, but also Mega Man and DuckTales, this is the one I'll suggest. Yacht Club Games originally launched it in 2014 on almost everything. 3DS, Wii U, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and later the Switch. The gameplay is super tight, short but challenging stages, nasty enemy placement, knockback off ledges, and boss fights that scream learn the pattern. The shovel pogo attacks feel amazing once you get the timing down, and the relic-style sub-weapons give you that classic secondary tool vibe without overcomplicating things. It's not a Metroidvania. Instead, it channels that old-school level-based structure, but with modern polish. The 8-bit style, graphics, and chiptune soundtrack absolutely sell the retro fantasy. Retro fans love it because it plays like how we remember NES games, not how they actually were. If you want tight platforming with a Castlevania flavor, this is a must. Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. This game honestly felt like someone had dug up a lost Symphony of the Night era game and slapped an anime license on it. It's available on PC, PS4 and 5, Xbox, and Switch. and was developed by Team Ladybug and Why So Serious. The gameplay is classic Metroidvania exploration, but with really cool elemental twist. You swap between wind and fire spirits to float, absorb damage, and power up different attacks. That system keeps even basic combat and platforming interesting. The map is tightly designed, so it never feels bloated, and the pacing is perfect for a shorter experience. The pixel art is gorgeous, with smooth animations and that late 90s fantasy OVA vibe. People usually call it short, but super polished. If you want something that captures that old Castlevania feel without demanding a 20-hour commitment, this is a fantastic pick. Master of Darkness. If you grew up on Nintendo and always wondered what Sega's Castlevania would look like, this is basically it. Master of Darkness dropped in 1992 on the Master System and Game Gear. It's a very old-school, stage-based action platformer. Stiff jumps you have to respect, enemies placed in annoying spots, and melee weapons with fixed ranges. Instead of a whip, you're swinging knives, swords, and axes. And you also get sub-weapons like pistols and bombs to deal with tricky threats. The setting is a huge highlight. Victorian London with foggy streets, haunted mansions, graveyards, and even Jack the Ripper and Dracula showing up. It looks great for the hardware. The dark, color palettes, and gothic backgrounds. Retro fans see it as a hidden gem, especially if you like that unforgiving pre-Metroidvania Castlevania style. It's absolutely one for people who enjoy old-school challenge and tight, linear levels. Hollow Knight. There are days when I just want to vanish into a massive, interconnected world, and this game devours time like nothing else. Released in 2017 by Team Cherry on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, it's a huge Metroidvania set in the ruined insect kingdom of Hollow Nest. The core gameplay is incredibly responsive. Fast nail swings, air-controlled dashes, and a charm system that lets you build your character around exploration, tankiness, or sheer aggression. Progression feels pure Castlevania. New movement abilities open up shortcuts and hidden areas everywhere. On top of that, the world building and atmosphere are ridiculously strong. Hand-drawn art, a sad, lonely tone, and haunting music. Players praise it for its depth and value. It's easily dozens of hours if you want everything. Momodora, Reverie under Moonlight. Not every Castlevania game needs to be huge, and that's exactly why I like this one. Momodora, Reverie under the Moonlight from Bomb Service came out in 2016 on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and later the Switch. It's a smaller scale Metroidvania with really snappy close-range combat. You're using a quick leaf as your main weapon, mixing quick melee attacks and dodge rolls and a ranged bell for poking enemies from a distance. The game leans into challenge. Regular mobs can shred you if you zone out, and bosses force you to learn patterns. Exploration is there, but it's more focused. New items and upgrades quietly reshape how you approach areas rather than completely reinventing things. The pixel art is cute, but soaked in a cursed, melancholic atmosphere. People who like tighter, more compact experiences really click with it. If you want a shorter, moody, indie Castlevania, this one's easy to recommend. Touhou Luna Nights. Every now and then, a game takes a familiar formula and adds one mechanic that completely changes how you think, and that's exactly what happens here. Touhou Luna Nights from Team Ladybug launched in 2018 on PC, with ports to Xbox and Switch. At its core, it's a 2D Metroidvania, with exploration, upgrades, and big boss fights, but the time stop system is the star. You can freeze time to slip through bullet patterns, reposition, or even use enemies and projectiles as temporary platforms. That makes combat feel stylish and almost puzzle-like, especially during more chaotic encounters. The movement is silky smooth, and stringing together abilities feels great. Visually, it's packed with detailed pixel art and anime-inspired designs, very flashy and colorful. Fans love how it respects both Touhou and Castlevania while still feeling fresh.
The ocean to secure that peace. Failing this mission would surely plunge us into darker days.
Salt and Sanctuary. If grim, punishing 2D Soulsvania sounds appealing, this one is probably already on your radar. Salt and Sanctuary from Ska Studios arrived in 2016 on PS4 and later hit PC, Xbox One, Switch, and Vita. The gameplay is all about deliberate combat. You manage stamina, choose between slow heavy weapons or faster options, and rely heavily on dodges, blocks, and parries. It's packed with RPG depth, huge skill tree, loads of armor and weapons, and a semi-open structure with shortcuts linking back in satisfying ways. The art style is rough, sketchy, and very bleak, which fits the Cursed World vibe, even if it's a bit divisive. People who love challenge and character building really dig it, while others bounce off the difficulty and look.
Now, I control time itself.
Timespinner. There's something almost nostalgic about this one, like firing up a late 90s CD-based console and discovering a hidden gem. Timespinner from Lunar Ray Games launched in 2018 on PC, PS4, Vita, Xbox One, and Switch. Gameplay is classic Metroidvania, interconnected map, movement upgrades, and backtracking to uncover new paths. Instead of a whip, you wield customizable magical orbs that change your playstyle. Close-range bruiser, ranged caster, or something in between. The big twist is time stop. You could freeze enemies and turn them into platforms or set up damage windows, which spices up both platforming and combat. Aesthetically, it leans into SNES and PS1 era pixel art with strong retro JRPG feel and a really nice soundtrack. Fans often praise its story and pacing as well as its gameplay. Grime. Grime was released in 2021 by Cloverbyte on PC and later consoles, and it blends 2D action RPG systems with Metroidvania-style progression. You play as a creature with a black hole head, and the main mechanic is absorbing enemy attacks to power yourself up. Combat is weighty and aggressive. You're encouraged to parry, punish, and then invest the mass you gain into new stats and abilities. The world is interconnected, but also very strange, full of fleshy, stone-like structures, abstract monsters, and hidden routes. Visually, it leans into surreal body horror instead of classic gothic castles, but it still scratches that dark, oppressive itch Castlevania fans intend to enjoy. Players often compare it to a 2D Soulsvania experience. If you're into challenging combat and bizarre worlds, this one's absolutely worth a look. Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. On the flip side, sometimes I want something that's still dark but also quietly beautiful, and that's where this game shines. Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights came out in 2021 on PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, and Xbox. You play as a young priestess who can't fight herself, instead summoning spectral knights and monsters to battle for you. That means your weapons are spirits, and as you defeat bosses, you unlock new ones that act like sub-weapons, attacks, or traversal tools. The structure is very Metroidvania. New abilities open up hidden paths and shortcuts across a ruined, rain-soaked kingdom. The art is stunning, hand-drawn, melancholic with a gorgeous soundtrack to match. Players praise its emotional tone and satisfying combat, even if it's not the hardest game on this list.
I've lost hope.
Vigil, The Longest Night. Vigil is a 2D action RPG with branching skill trees, multiple weapon categories, and a methodical combat pace. Instead of twitchy platforming, it wants you to carefully dodge, learn enemy timing, and build your character around certain tools. The world layout has clear Metroidvania influence, with interconnected zones and shortcuts, though it's more linear than some peers. Visually, it uses detailed but slightly uncanny 2D art, leaning into cosmic and folk horror themes. Opinions are mixed. Some players notice jank and pacing issues, while others love the atmosphere and depth. If you don't mind a bit of roughness and want something darker and experimental, Vigil can be a really interesting detour. "9 Years of Shadows." Ending on a more colorful note, this one feels like a tribute to the brighter, more anime-tinted side of Castlevania. 9 Years of Shadows from Halberd Studios was released around 2022 on PC, with console versions following. It's a 2D Metroidvania where you control a spear-wielding heroine exploring a cursed castle drained of color. The core gameplay revolves around fast melee attacks, smooth platforming, and elemental armor forms that let you glide, swim, or traverse hazards, opening up new routes as you progress. The visual style is a huge draw, lush, detailed pixel art, and a strong musical theme, with color literally returning to the world as you cleanse it. People often highlight its presentation and charm, even if it's a bit more straightforward mechanically than some others. So, yeah. If you're a fan of classic Castlevania vibes, these games are honestly the closest you'll get today. Some feel just like the old school NES days, and others go full Symphony style with deep exploration and RPG builds. That's all I've got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your pick from the list. And I'll see you in the next one.